Look at how fidgety. ADHD.
Welcome to Florida Men on Florida Man with Josh Mills and Wayne McCarty, the podcast where Floridians discuss the legends and lore and crazy stories that always seem to take place in Florida. We are here this evening on episode 245 with our new friends Bianca and Kyle, who make up Oak and Iron. How are you both?
We are wonderful.
Very good.
Thank you
Oak
for
and
having us.
Iron photography.
That's right.
Or
It can be just oak
photos.
and iron. It's fine.
Ah.
Now,
you
see-
you keep it open for options.
Yeah,
Like
it
we
depends
do
what we're doing
anything.
that
Yeah.
day.
Do you need like a comic artist, Oak and Iron cartoon?
yeah.
Whatever
do
you
that
need
for
us to be. Whatever you need. We just
Anything
spent,
you need.
We just spent the last hour and a half making what I can only call a digestion reel.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you could say that.
Butthole poop
Educational.
humor.
Well, yeah, we weren't going to say
Everything goes back to buttholes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, life begins at one and ends at one, I've always said.
Yeah.
And my third grade teacher taught me that, Miss Bice, shout out. And I think like we had a lot of fun recording that, and it set the tone for the episode because now I feel like we know each other more intimately. You didn't just walk in here, jump on a mic. We did work and art
We worked,
together.
yeah.
Yeah, our souls have kind of melded together.
Yeah.
So I think we're on the same wavelength.
Yes.
Colluded, I would say.
You could say our intestines. got
They
a
are
little bit-
aligned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
The
yes.
intestines aligned.
We all share the same viruses. Can we say that?
Ah, yes.
There you go.
All right. So you both brought some headlines. Can I just ask you briefly though, before we jump into the headline section, what was your experience like researching what you're going to bring on the show? Because it can be a bit daunting. There's so much like heavy news from Florida. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of sad things.
Yes.
And
Tons.
Yes.
there's just so much to
Right.
go through. And we had a few strategies going into this. We were like,
Nice.
oh, do we start with our birthdays? Because there's two of us. I was
That's
like, that way
right.
it's a little bit of
That's
me,
good.
a little
Yeah.
bit of you.
That's
Okay,
right.
And then we were like, oh,
50-50.
do we do local stuff? But over in the Space Coast, there's some kind of lighthearted things, but then a lot of just
Murder.
Bad.
Yeah, it's just like
Tons of murder.
murder on the beach.
Yeah.
Just a lot of
Very
it.
aggressive over there.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it was a lot of back and forths, but I think we kind of narrowed it down. The first one we were like, oh, as primarily wedding photographers, like we have to do something involving
A wedding.
weddings,
Yes.
getting
Oh.
married.
Oh,
Yep.
eternal love.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what we say about our show.
Eternal love.
That's right. When
Is
folks,
what binds us.
yes, together.
So headline number one.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Florida man proposes using rings stolen from another lover.
This is what I'm talking about.
Okay.
This is what I'm talking about.
Honestly, when they said wedding ones, I was like, we're going to get the same old ones we always get, you know?
This is thievery.
I have never heard of this. I
Love
love it.
based on thievery.
It's kind of double dipping in love
Yeah.
because it was from one lover to another. So he's just kind of he's having his
Bringing it
cake
around.
and
It
eating
cancels
it too.
it
Yes.
out then.
So my grandmother has a ring that she received from her grandmother and then
The
her
Titanic
great-grandmama.
story again.
Right. It was originally given to her on the Titanic, and I gave that to my wife. But what my wife doesn't know, she's finding out tonight, babe. I gave that to my first 3 lovers.
is
so,
amazing.
Yeah. So she's upset now. Look at her; she's frustrated.
So I say the important thing is you got it in the end. So
You
got
got
it
it. You
in
ended
the
up with
end,
it,
yeah.
right? All right. So this guy stole a ring.
So he had a fiance
Okay.
Check.
and took her engagement ring
Yes.
and the wedding bands that he was going to have when they would
Okay.
get married. Gave them to the old side piece.
No,
And
no.
the thing is, though, is that
Uh-oh.
it kind. I'm not saying it makes sense, okay, but I feel like this guy's stretching the dollar.
I could, yeah. I
He's trying to get
I could
the
get
most
there.
bang for his buck because he did spend over $6,000
Gee,
on these
nice.
rings.
Well, they say one week's salary is what you
1 week salary
spend on a
only,
ring.
yeah.
And as a podcaster, that makes sense to us.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So okay,
Chump change.
yeah, right. So were they asleep and they snuck in and took the rings? Or how did that happen?
Greased it?
I think she was not home.
Okay.
And he went into her jewelry. She was first
Oh,
of all,
she's not
she wasn't
wearing
wearing
it.
it.
Oh,
so I
well,
think there was a
strike
little
one.
bit of like
Already
you
on
know,
the rocks.
fight.
You kind of
Yep.
deserve this
Yes,
a little bit.
right.
I
The
get
new
it.
one's gonna wear this stuff.
Or-
And so when she wasn't home, took it, snuck it over there, and then she
Okay.
just noticed in a picture of the new
Don't like
fiance.
that.
Yeah.
Hey, that looks pretty familiar.
I used to wear those rings all the time.
Wow.
and that is how that
Okay.
happened. That's how she found out.
All right, I'll play devil's advocate.
Okay.
If I'm an employer,
Yeah.
right, I got 2 employees.
That's right.
Maybe I've given one a 401k.
That's
right?
right. Yep. Yep.
The other one starts performing better.
Right.
I just transfer that 401k.
I see what you're saying.
It's a smart
Yeah.
move.
Hey,
And
you
then
want
fire
you
the
want to
other one.
retire? Not so
Yes.
much.
Yeah, you can't now.
Okay, so
Step the
help me.
game up.
Help me understand this though. What is the crime? Because all I'm
Oh,
hearing
yeah.
now is
Passion.
passion, frugality, in an
Yeah.
economy that we didn't choose.
Huh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, what's the crime here?
I think it was just personal theft.
Personal theft. Okay.
Oh, this is is the engagement ring the ladies or the gentleman's that you give it to,
It depends.
or the owner who purchased it?
But where does that stop?
Right.
You get home, you drank my sodies,
the ring's
Right.
mine.
you ate the cheesesteak.
Yes.
Okay, I can answer this.
Okay.
On The Bachelor and The Bachelorette,
Good shows.
Ringmaker Lane Bryant, I don't know his name.
That's right.
Is it? They
Yeah.
only get to keep the ring if they stay together for like 2 years, and that's scientific fact.
Really?
That
Yeah.
makes sense, I guess.
Yeah, he doesn't just hand them out rings and stuff.
Well, okay, but I feel like in this
Next
case,
question.
I feel like in this case, though, man, and honestly, dude, like that first person, they weren't wearing them to begin with, yeah. So if they were wearing them and someone said greased, someone snuck in and
Sorry,
greased,
Lane Bryant is the women's clothing brand, right?
It really is.
Isn't
Yeah.
it? Okay.
100%.
Right? No, I'm really glad you interrupted because I had nowhere to go with that. I didn't know where I was going
I
with
was
it.
so I was
Neil
like,
Lane,
Invested.
thank you.
Yeah.
I will agree to anything you
Yeah,
say.
you're like Lane Bryant. That's it.
Yep.
Fact.
Yep. Well, okay, so this person's in jail then.
Yeah.
From lovers to prison.
Yeah, I believe they got arrested for a very brief time. But
Yeah.
The love to prison pipeline, they call it.
Well, that's
the old tale that told too many times.
we see it so often, and since we're talking about the privatized prison system,
God, we can go on.
don't get us
you-
started.
And you two
Don't
are
get us
experts.
started.
Oak and Iron Advocacy
Right.
for prisoners. Isn't that a group that you started?
And our bail bond company.
Yeah, and the bail bond company. So yeah,
Double
preaching.
dipping.
We're
Double
preaching to
dipping.
the choir. Yeah, lock them
full
up, set
circle.
them
Come
free.
on, I get that, dude. That's a killer headline, and I will say that's really unique. And I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but there's certain styles of headlines we typically get. Food violence is a big one.
Food throwing. Yeah.
We saw a few
Yeah.
Right? It's
that I really wanted to talk about.
impossible.
But there,
Yes.
there was a guy who
Yes. Bring it.
threw pizza slices at his daughter.
Yeah.
Oh, daughter.
and
We haven't had a
Kobe-
daughter.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay.
There's
Pizza's
there's
popular.
that. People hide meth in weird places. Well, we don't kink shame, but people hide
Yeah.
meth in places you wouldn't assume.
Belly button.
Belly button.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
we saw one.
You
A couple
saw-
of
See?
those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Space Coast stuff.
Right, Space Coast
Exactly.
stuff.
Space
You
Coast
get
stuff.
it.
We've had our fair share of Jehovah's Witness weddings, so they throw
Right.
down.
Hey, they get
Uh,
married?
now
They
we're
throw
talking.
They
down.
throw down.
They throw down
Really?
big
First of all,
time.
I'll say two things that Jehovah's Witness
Please.
loves,
Yeah.
and I'm going to just base this one wedding off of the whole entire faith.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
love Long Island iced teas
Yes.
and
Oh.
cocaine.
Yes.
Oh, these are two opposite ends of the spectrum.
Well, same, brother. That's how we prepare for every episode.
Yeah.
I mean,
Why do
we
you think I had a
just,
nosebleed earlier?
Yeah. It wasn't because I hit him.
Yeah.
All right. So headline number 2.
Headline number 2 is, let me follow this.
No,
up.
you're way good.
Florida couple trapped in an unlocked closet for 2 days.
Okay.
Huh.
My favorite R. Kelly song's about this.
Me
Oh,
too. That's
yeah.
why we
Instantly
picked it.
drawn.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Is it the accordion style? Because those are tricky. They don't open how you'd think. They kind of like fold.
Where does it start? Where does it end?
Yes.
So
thank
this one
you.
was a janitor's closet.
Okay.
Oh, a
We
normal
assumed there
door.
was some substances involved.
Yeah.
And
Paint
so,
thinner.
and I think the
Yeah.
thinking of the substances involved is not the 2 days. It's one of the parties involved has a gnarly $ tattoo right on the throat.
Now,
Get paid is what
Yeah.
we say.
I do want to
He's a
say
singer.
I don't have one on my throat, but I've got one on my upper right quadrant of my back.
Yeah.
A $sign that says "Making it rain since '85."
That's
and
amazing.
That's true. But I also have been locked in a closet for a good portion of my life.
Yeah.
And then I came out a few episodes ago.
Yeah.
It must be like
it's
a
big.
money sign thing then.
I think it's a contagious thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these two folks are locked in there. They admitted freely that they were locked in an unlocked closet.
Yeah. So
Who
the
they
weird,
admit that to?
Yeah.
And
well,
why
the
2
weird part
days?
is it took them 2 days to call 911.
Was it 2 days to realize that they were in a closet?
believe
Well,
so.
I think
Because
it
they were
was-
seeing like expanse.
I
right?
think it had to do with there's some nice chemicals, and it's a janitor's
Of
closet, so it's
course, yeah.
professional grade.
Wow.
You got that nice
Concentrates.
glue,
Yes.
that nice
preach.
bleach.
Yeah.
Time
Beautiful
flies
bleach.
when
Yeah.
you're having fun.
They made a mustard bomb.
Yeah.
And then they're like,
Yeah.
wait a second, it's been 2 days.
2 days, 2 hours.
Well,
Yeah.
just
I
like,
think I saw this on Saw 10.
right.
Yeah. Scene, they call it. Yeah.
Yes. Well, and just like the cops to show up and arrest the folks who called for help, right? I mean, these folks were in this closet trapped for 2 days. They called the cops, and now they're in jail for some reason.
Yeah, I think it was just like breaking and entering.
Oh, okay, so
Oh.
it wasn't their closet.
No, it was definitely. I don't think they were the
They were not
janitors trapped in their
janitors.
own closet. It
Well,
was-
that
Oh,
makes
that
sense.
would've been
Okay, well, now I want to walk that back a little bit, I guess. But there's no songs, about F the fire department, is there? So I think
Maybe.
I was right in
I
my
don't know.
assumption. But no, so they went to jail.
they did. They
Oh, see, that's
got
a rude
arrested.
punishment.
I
They've already kind of been in jail.
They,
Right.
Yeah, like micro jail.
Yeah, you got
Time
your
served.
punishment. Time
served, my
Yeah,
guy.
which is what we call
No, we have a timeout system on our show. If someone is naughty or
a shame corner.
the shame corner is what we call it. So they
Yeah.
do something that's
Yeah.
like, for shame.
Yeah.
And then we go in the shame corner until we remember that you're there and invite you back out again.
Yeah. Well, we
Um,
think public shaming is probably the best punishment.
Oh, the French get
It's
it.
ideal.
Yeah.
It's ideal. The stockades, what are they called? Is that what it's called?
You got
Where
it,
you put your
baby.
arms and your neck through,
get
and
the
people go by
tomatoes?
and point at you.
Or
And
fart on you.
yes,
That would be
100.
the worst. I'd rather take a tomato to the dome.
Then a poop.
Yeah. Well, gas, air
Nah,
form.
I don't like. That's for perverts. I don't. I think to
We
sniff.
can go on this all day.
Yeah, I
you
don't
better
wanna-
stop us. You better interrupt.
I don't want to preach. Okay, so you said you had a story from your hometown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where we live in the Space Coast,
Okay.
there was an iconic orange grove.
Yeah,
Right?
it was like a
Oh, okay, like
yeah,
haunted or
one
like
of those where
murderous.
they
No,
sell
well,
oranges.
Oh,
We'll get there.
technical, just an orange grove where they sell oranges.
Yes.
And so
Okay,
the
cool.
owners of this orange grove
Yeah.
had a daughter.
Okay.
And
Oh,
she
this is a nice story.
unfortunately passed away. So
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Very young, very
Let's
young.
turn.
Yeah, Told you Space Coast and like
I didn't see that coming.
very-
This is a nice story. What?
and so when she unfortunately passed away,
Yeah, sure.
they had a funeral.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And typically one would bury someone in the ground.
Yeah, unless it's
No, no,
like
no.
As
New
is tradition.
Orleans.
As is tradition.
So-
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
Where this orange grove, it overlooks
Oh.
the Indian River.
Yeah.
Beautiful
Well,
view.
she loved to look at
Oh,
the Indian
Indian
River.
River.
Right.
I do
right.
like Indian River orange juice.
Yes.
And
Although Natalie's is my alma mater.
Well, they're a sponsor, yeah.
Yeah.
Natalie's that's S tier
Yeah.
orange juice.
Thank you.
We
Yeah,
have
no,
to
that-
say that.
$8.
Yes.
It is incredible.
I'll agree. I'll agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started on Calypso lemonade.
Okay.
yes.
Wow. Liquids. We're talking liquids.
Oh, we
yeah.
are.
We
We
love
are the
liquids.
beverage champs over
Okay.
here.
Coke and iron beverages.
Yes.
And so again, instead of burying her in the ground, they did a vertical
Come on.
Oh,
casket that was clear on the front
I hate
So
that.
she could-
So she could
peep out.
See her
overlook
favorite view
onto the river
for eternity.
very
this is-
short-lived.
And we can go. Okay. So
Oh,
they
no,
they
this- I
that's
think-
been removed.
Yes.
I don't think
How
it
long?
lasted.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
long. It was like a month.
It was
or
a
so.
very like locals kind of only knew type
Yeah.
of thing.
Once you find out, though, I think you kind of have to go
Like a
check it
surf,
out.
like a nice surf wave in Hawaii, locals only.
Yeah. Out of
Yeah.
respect, I would have gone to see.
Oh,
How
yeah.
would you not?
100%.
Yeah. So our
But then
homie-
are you being seen also? Because that's the creepy part. about
I
that.
mean,
yeah.
it
Are you
depends on
blocking the
viewing the
view?
observer.
it depends on what you believe.
Yeah,
Right.
Is that like disrespecting?
100%.
Well, she's overlooking the First Nation River, and we're trying our best to, respect that.
Yes.
But you also want to see her, and you want to see her POV
Oh, you need
in a way.
binocs then.
Right.
This is when
Now,
technology
our homie Greg went home to be with the Lord 80,
years
88
ago.
episodes ago. And Greg, we stacked. We had a wooden casket we built for him,
Yeah.
and we put it upright and
Yes.
poured one out for him, and the whole team came by and poured one out for him.
Port of Natalie's.
A Natalie's,
Yeah,
a
Natalie's.
Calypso,
Yeah, the acid and the
and we all
plywood.
did an entire pack of American Spirits in his
amazing.
honor,
Yeah,
and
he
so
loves it.
it was crazy, man. But Greg, if you're listening up, man, and Gold Yonder, we love you.
Where their first gift is?
Yeah. So
Can you put your
the
bag up here so that they can easy access to the gifts, the goodies.
okay, so the bigger gift first.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the
And
little
then
gifts.
yeah.
So the bigger gift is actually what
Your
we
side table.
we disguised it as a side table here. This is
here
a
the whole
this is a real gift. And if you want to take a look over there,
Uncover it.
This is a real gift for you. We'll help you carry it to your car. It's
this
it's your
is
very own
vintage Brinks
vintage Brinks.
safe.
safe.
Oh my god!
No,
This
it's
is the
actually
best thing ever.
and so we.
It's so heavy, dude.
I tried to shimmy it. I was like,
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Bro, you should see us getting it over the ledge outside and then up the stairs.
Yeah. It was
So
a nightmare.
we accidentally twisted the lock. So it has a key, but we have instructions that we'll send you for the combination of how to open it.
But
It
it's,
would have been funnier if you didn't have any of that information.
Yeah, it was just a side table.
well, we were
Yeah.
gonna put your gifts in it.
Yeah.
And so, like, as a non-photographer, when I Google photographers,
Yeah.
I go, what do they do? And they're always doing like, oh, you gotta get the shot. That seems like it slows things
Which
down.
I thought was the Illuminati sign.
Yeah. So,
Oh my! And
God.
I
This is
queen
my
of sunglasses.
favorite.
well, I know looking at your reels and things, you always have fun
go-to.
glasses.
Those are actually
These are
So I custom
Incredible.
made those and 3D printed them, and we just re-glued them.
Look at that.
We
Yeah.
just re-glued them together. And that just speeds things up.
I love
You
it.
can see the shot. Yeah,
This is my favorite gift I've ever gotten in my life.
that's kind of the greatest thing.
Can I
of
wear
all
these
time.
for the rest of the
Of
episode?
Yeah,
course, please
100%.
do.
Okay.
Continuity does not exist.
and then everybody.
Hello, Josh.
So we're here with Bianca and Kyle
Yes.
from Oak and Iron.
Yes.
And I'd say I came across you guys, I don't know, a couple months ago.
I think you're right.
And I think I was a early adopter of you guys. I like to credit myself
With the fame.
with the fame.
It might all be because of you.
That's what I was hoping you would say that. I think you were around like 9 or 10,000, and then it was like I saw like a next post, and it was like, "Hey everybody, I don't know what happened, but thank you." And then you were up to like 45 at that time.
Yeah, it was like the past 3 months went from we were at like 7K for
A long
Plateau.
time.
like 4 years, but
Yeah.
that wasn't followers wasn't our objective.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure,
no,
sure,
yeah.
sure.
And we had during the pandemic, like a lot of people got on TikTok.
Right.
And so we started making a lot of videos on there. Started out as like video game stuff about World of Warcraft.
Oh, wow.
We were heavy
Sick.
into that during
And we did
COVID.
like
Yeah.
it was just a way to pass the time. That was our
Right.
social
Right.
kind of way to like survive.
Of course.
And probably about 8 months into doing our gaming videos, I was like, we got an audience watching World of Warcraft and we do pretty cool photography. What would happen if we did that? We just thought no one was interested in wedding photography on there or like
Sure.
engagement
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
And that took off. And then when things kind of started to like plateau on TikTok, I was like, let's post some of those videos on Instagram.
Mm.
And then it went from 7,000 to like 93,000 in like 3 months, which was almost too fast.
It
Sure.
was.
It was
It
weird.
was for me as a fan just watching. I was like, okay, now these guys are like, huh?
Well,
Now
he's-
they're like, they're
he
too
goes-
big for me.
He goes, you remember that beautiful couple I sent you in the middle of the night?
Yeah.
He goes, they're so haughty now, is what he said.
Yeah.
But then you DM them and go, and your first DM to them was you up, and it was, and it was the winky tongue face. You remember that?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. I send those out in mass.
So which one?
Yeah.
Which one of you responded? That's what I wanna
It
know.
was me, and that's why we're here now.
Okay, yeah, heck yeah.
Yeah.
Now our first national sponsor came because Josh DM'd the CEO in the middle of the night.
Martinelli's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
I got on LinkedIn and I found the CEO and I was like, hey, like this would be a good idea, like people to celebrate at home and like throw like parties and then
Yeah.
they could dress up and have fake champagne.
Hell
and
yeah.
he's like, we'll send you some.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, wow. Okay.
And then he was like, "What are you doing right now? Do you want to come over?" He said.
yeah. And I was
We
like,
tried
oh,
to
Florida.
swindle Aldi out of a fake sponsorship. I made up a fake
Oh my
musician,
gosh. Yes,
and I was
please.
like, I'm obsessed with. I called as the manager,
Yeah.
and I was like,
What?
I'm the manager
Social
of
engineering.
Little Lion, this folk singer, and he just loves
What?
Winking Owl wine. And he's going on
Yes,
tour
yes,
and would
please.
love it if you sent him a pallet. of
Yeah.
Oh,
Winking Owl
wow.
We
wine.
tried real hard.
Which in hindsight was only about like $120.
Right. But Little Lion, though. What a name. It was in the name. It was LYIN.
Oh, wow. The truth was in
exactly.
the name. You were lying.
We used to do that to get into Applebee's. And so when we were on the road, we call Applebee's and go, hey, I'm the manager of,
Hoobastank.
Hoobastank.
Yeah.
They're coming by your Applebee's. Can you make sure they got 8 seats available? And they would be like, yeah, no one's here.
Yeah,
they can sit
nobody's
wherever
ever
they
here.
want.
It's also funny that you went with Hoobastank.
Well, you can't picture it. I mean, they're white guys.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But what's that been like, though? I mean, because like you said,
It's got to be startling.
I
I
think
mean, was
so.
there like one night you're like, holy crap, what happened?
Um,
Did you run an ad or something? How did I come across you?
I don't know. See, that's what I thought.
We were
Yeah.
Because our videos would get in front of a weird audience. I'm not saying that you're weird.
No,
But
I mean,
you
it's
should
like
see my-
some of our wedding
you should see
videos
my
would
stuff.
also get heckled by like 15-year-olds, and I was always just like, "Why are you getting
What type of
wedding
heckles?
photography
Yeah.
videos?" It was most of the stuff. If you're not familiar with our work, a lot of the stuff we like deadpan, kind of like a juxtaposition.
Sure.
Yeah.
And
Right,
so we would
right.
have every once in a while a 15-year-old being like, "This doesn't signify true love," which seemed
Right.
really
Or like,
strange.
where's the romance?
Yeah,
It's
it's
like,
like, where's
why are you
the
so mad about
romance?
this?
Yeah,
Well, knowing the reel
probably
that,
in their heart.
knowing the reel that we just made,
Well, yeah.
that was really intestine heavy, and what we would say between the BC. Between the booty cheeks,
Oh, okay, I
heavy.
didn't- I-
I would love for a child to respond to that and go, "Where's the
Where's the
romance?
love?
Where's
Yeah.
the romance in
Yeah.
this?" Actually,
know.
You just passed it. Yeah.
well, yeah. And so, have you had any interesting followers or like new fans that you've been like, "Man, like that's shocking," or that's any interesting conversations besides Josh and the
Yeah, I did
DMs
try to
and-
turn them on to the Patriot. That was about it. When y'all were like, "Oh, the Mighty Gemstones," I'm like, "Yeah, but watch the Patriot."
with
It's
Mel
good."
Gibson.
No, not not that one.
That's what I thought.
That's what I thought too.
It's just Patriot, the TV show.
Oh, it's great
on Amazon
It's
Prime.
really good.
I
Yeah.
haven't seen it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's great. But has it? So what's that
It's
right?
gotta be
been-
weirder than me DMing you.
No, I mean yours was just a pleasure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's kind of been like a really surreal thing because again, as like wedding photographers,
True.
we always felt like most people are just very neutral. It's just a whatever service based thing.
Sure, sure.
But ours started becoming more like polarizing of people like really like obsessing with our work. I think more so it's strange having so many people being like, "You've inspired me to get into photography."
Oh, that's
Wow.
cool.
Like that is
Oh.
super weird
That's
because
awesome.
You're breeding your competition.
yeah, well, I mean that's well, they got to catch up 7 years. so.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
talking.
there
That's
you
what
go.
we say.
But it's just
Yep.
been more like strange that we haven't really changed anything as far as what we
Right.
do. We've been very consistent for almost a decade now, and it's just been kind of like head down, ignore everything else,
Yeah.
and then just like do what we
That's
do.
so cool, though.
And
Yeah.
we've always kind of been in the position, very fortunately, that we've been traveling since year one for gigs,
Right.
Because she went to school in Tennessee for college, so we had a lot of contacts there. I'm from Boston, so I had a lot of contacts up there. So it's kind of one of those things of when they see you traveling, people will be like, "Oh, well, they're responsible enough to show up to an out-of-state gig."
True,
So
yeah.
if anything, like we've gotten more quality clients
yeah.
from
That's
it.
awesome.
So it's been cool, like especially like frequenting like New York City a lot more often, which is like one of our favorite places. But more so, it's just weird when we go to gigs now and someone who's not even part of like the couple or whatever, they're like, "You're those famous photographers," and we're
Wow,
like, "We're
that's gonna be
still
weird.
Yeah, we're
We're
still
like,
going to like just our house with our cats of being like nothing has changed
Sure.
at all, like financially or like anything else. We're
Right,
just like
cool.
we've just gotten like dumber T-shirts and
Yeah.
just trying to be like more.
the
ridiculous.
T-shirt game is on point.
Yes.
Thank you. We
Style's
tried.
on point. I mean, you both, are incredible. And what I just want to say too, like, I think that is fascinating about artists, where it's like you typically just do your thing, and you would do it whether people showed up or not.
Yes,
right.
Especially
So-
when you're like a service and it's not just like a famous photographer who shoots landscapes or whatever. Ours is like we only do a certain amount of gigs a year.
Yeah.
That
Cool.
hasn't changed.
Right.
So if anything, it's been a lot more like no's or that we're booked
yeah.
for this.
Yeah.
But honestly, it's been really cool because we've been able to refer out a lot of our friends' companies. So now they've
Cool.
got
That's
we've got
cool.
like 3 or 4 photographers fully booked out until like 2025 because of
Wow.
the inquiries we've been sending
You're
out.
like
So-
an
That's
Ask
awesome.
Gary, like a 1-800 Gary.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're the
Yeah.
gift that keeps
But
on
for
giving.
photographers.
Yeah.
Well, and I think too, like there is that thing of like we ask ourselves pretty frequently, like, are we still having fun?
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
no matter how big the show gets or whatever, like it's one of those things where it's like if you're not enjoying it and we're not having fun, then it's like, well, what are you doing?
Well, and I
Like,
think that this whole like uptick in followers and everything has brought more people who understand what we're doing
Right.
versus just the for lack of a better term, money making stuff, you
Sure,
know, like
right.
where it's just like, oh, I got to do, they don't really understand the like more alternative photos we do. So it's more just stick with traditional stuff.
Sure.
But this has brought more people who are like, we fully trust you, do what you
100%.
do, which is
That's
like awesome
awesome.
for
Yeah.
us
Yeah.
to even just
Yeah.
grow and get excited and stuff.
Well, even directing us outside in front of our studio. I mean, you had Josh and
I went catatonic at one point. I didn't
You
know.
did
You
great.
did great.
I didn't know I could move my body that way.
well,
I was
Josh.
sweating
Or
more than
how
you.
limber I was.
Josh does this thing where he'll occasionally his eyes will roll back in his head,
Yeah.
and a character called Vashna comes out,
Yeah.
and it speaks through him. He's
I'm
a vessel.
embarrassed. I didn't give you
He's a
permission
vessel.
to speak about this.
And
Yeah.
Vashna comes out, but it only
I
in
thought
very
you were going to invoke it when I saw the lenses pointed at.
exactly.
Yeah.
It only comes out in very like intimate, like safe environments. And
Yeah.
we were outdoors doing a shoot with you guys, and I felt the rumblings,
Yeah,
the
sun-
spiritual rumblings.
Yeah, the sun was hitting in the right spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you both are so pro, and it's like it's incredible seeing your work, and then obviously having you here, and I will say this, like, we do have a lot of guests, and we do a lot of different content, but every now and then things just kind of click, and I just feel like you guys were like instant homies. You know what I mean? Which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's also because we look like a before and after of like weight loss. Like I'm just like the fat version, and then I lost a bunch of weight. And now I'm
Well, okay, so you say that, but
What the hell am I doing? man? what part of the before and after am I?
you're,
Like,
you're just
We're just the
you're
twins.
inspiration.
Yeah.
We're the twins.
yeah. I was like, wait a minute, am I the fatter one? Is it going down this way?
No, so both of our side gigs, Josh used to model for Sears Roebucks, and that's
Yeah.
something that we
Tube socks though.
tube socks, yeah,
Yeah.
and
Go
then
back to Tube Girl.
Tube girl, yeah.
that's
Oh,
right,
yeah.
and mine was TJ Maxx. I remember for a very long time, as a grown man, not as a kid.
Maxinista.
He
That's
was a
right,
Maxinista.
Maxinista.
Yeah.
So thank you for complimenting my beauty, and but no,
Both
but,
of you. Both of you.
Heck yeah,
Both of
thank
us.
you.
Let's-
Yeah.
No, I have one of my questions that I've had since we booked you guys was, do you have more traditionalists, folks who want, a traditional wedding, like contact you and see your work and then try to get you to change and try to get you to do
Oh.
more like straightforward
Wow.
shoots?
Yeah,
Yeah.
not like so much change, just more being like, hey, I have a really conservative family, and they
Okay.
do not understand, and they're footing the bill. We find that
Yeah.
if
What's
the couple themselves,
non-conservative? Like mirroring and like flipping over. They're like, gross. The devil.
you'd be surprised. They're
Really?
like- literally,
Wow.
they would be like, I do not understand this. This is crap.
From the devil.
Don't
Can
make
you
them
just-
face each other.
stand in the gazebo
Yeah.
for crying out loud.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so, but is that something that are you flexible on that?
Oh
Of
yeah.
course,
I
yeah.
mean,
But now you don't have to. Now you kind of go with the people that get it.
well, those days where it's like go more traditional.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it's just like a cakewalk, but it's like, oh, I know for a fact we don't have to put like our creative brains on, and it's more just going
Sure.
back
Okay.
to like the
Muscle
raw
memory.
basics of.
Yeah.
We try to more enhance like the photojournalistic side of things. So we're just gonna like crush the candids, but at least try to make interesting angles in that way.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, and a lot of folks, I think, with any kind of creative work, like they don't really know what they want until you show them what they want.
Yeah,
and so that's-
especially if you're. I mean, we know creatives that can't even visualize when you're saying like, "Oh, you're gonna be here, and the sun's gonna hit your face."
Got it.
Right.
So until
Yeah.
you see it, and then you're just like, "Okay, I understand." Like,
Yeah.
I'm just
Right.
gonna let you.
Oh, nobody's
do your
describing
thing.
your photos like to some.
So you have presents.
We do.
Yes, we do.
You
have
brought
presents.
gifts from the Far East. You said,
Your presence alone is presence.
Come
Well,
on.
you know, and
My mom told me that.
Yeah.
I was
And
just
so-
quoting her.
we brought you two things.
Okay.
One, we were talking about orange groves, and
Yes.
recently we had
Yes.
a beautiful work
Okay.
trip to the Big Apple. And there we had
Okay.
a amazing little Italian dinner date.
Okay.
We went and got some wine,
Yeah.
full
Can't
bottle.
even tell
We're not
this is good.
skimping.
Come
Yeah.
on.
And so when we were there, we fell in love
Okay.
with orange wine.
This
Look
is
at
And
this.
so you
Yes.
guys got you
Yes.
a beautiful bottle
Oh my
of
goodness!
some
Wow,
sun goddess
that looks
orange
Come
wine,
on.
Pinot Grigio.
I love the look at the
Yes.
image.
Let me
look at that
touch
circle
it.
image. That's cool.
So
Look
you guys
at
can
this.
enjoy that
Yeah,
for
thank
yourselves.
That's
Thank you,
amazing.
Thank you. Can you pass it to
Wow.
Josh so he can touch it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
No, that's gorgeous. Thank you so much.
wow.
That's so
Oh,
sweet of
thank
you.
you.
No
Sure.
problem.
Thank you. So
Oh,
thoughtful.
I like that.
And so we were just talking about us, the
That's right.
photography.
Yes.
And honestly, one of the biggest things for our clients is to make them comfortable.
Okay.
It's a hard thing, especially when
Right.
people haven't been photographed before.
Right.
God, guilty.
And so we were like,
Uh-oh.
what better way for you guys to feel comfortable,
And
Yeah.
being.
okay,
Yeah.
than to give you a little piece of us.
Okay.
This is where
And
I'm
so we
concerned.
got you
Okay.
a bag of our hair that we had just cut.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So
I
so
love
we are
it.
trusting you
Wow.
guys with our
Yes.
DNA
Uh-huh.
Yes.
to not
Yes.
sprinkle this on any
Yeah,
crime
please,
scenes.
I'll take it.
It's a little bit of both of us.
Wow,
You can
thank
see
you.
the blonde from
Look
before.
at that.
Yeah. I
And
know.
so now you have a piece of us.
Yes.
Feel free to staple it on the wall.
We were just talking about memorabilia and how we're going to hang it up.
That's true. It
That
does
will
smell
go up-
like them.
Now we will
It
give
does
a.
smell
It's
like
all
them.
head hair.
We'll
by
give-
the way.
Okay, it's all head
I just
hair?
wanna
Promise,
preface
promise.
that.
Wow.
We'll give a little bit to the neighborhood witch, just
Perfect.
for
Beautiful.
just for whatever.
Well, Steve-O was doing the hair dolls.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
So, you know,
This
Can
is-
I hold and touch?
Yeah.
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 we could needle thing that and make a little animal. Yeah. I didn't believe it till I felt it. And then it definitely feels like hair.
No, we
You definitely have to sign it.
please.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah.
Also
Yeah.
with the wall in the
And-
studio.
for sure.
Yeah.
No, we were literally just talking. I'm going to give you both some options tonight, and Josh is unaware of this as well. Okay, so we're going to play a game. We've never done this in 245 episodes. We're going to try it out on you.
Yeah.
It's called Guess the Cryptid. I'm going to list 3
What are the
cryptids.
rules? Yeah.
Do you have Adderall so I can pay attention.
Oh, I
Yeah,
do.
yeah. Luke, if you
get
wouldn't mind
get
bringing
my bag
all
it's
over.
the pink pill thing.
No,
I got to
so-
make it till Friday.
Yeah, just give
Don't
them
take too
each half
many.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to list and describe 3 cryptids from Florida, right? So some monsters from Florida's history. And we have to decide at the end which one of those is make-believe, which one is not an actual Florida cryptid.
Love it.
Okay.
Oh, easy.
We're going to start off with number
That's what I'm
1
thinking.
here.
Yeah.
We got this.
We got this.
And here's the thing: most of our listeners aren't from Florida, so they already write in and go, "Is that real? Actually, what you just said?" And so we're going to lean into that and just do a whole.
You have the
section.
same
No, they
people writing in that
don't.
heckle me. It's the
Exactly.
same tone.
Where's the romance?
yeah.
Where's the romance in the cryptids? The first one is the Wampus cat. Okay.
Love cats.
The Wampus cat. The
Okay,
Wampus cat
doesn't sound.
is
like
a
a word.
panther-like creature with 6 legs and is possibly bipedal, which we don't
Oh, I
don't
take
judge
that.
on
Yeah.
this show.
No.
It's however many pedals
Pedals, yeah.
you want. Yep.
Yeah.
So the yellow eyes and skunk smell are what distinguish it from a creature of known origins.
Well, the 6 legs, I think, is the first one. Yeah.
That's a little weird.
And the
Also, this thing stinks.
what?
If you weren't thrown off by the 6 legs. The mythos here of the Wampus cat is varied, but the most common origin story is one of a beautiful woman who was turned ceremoniously into this creature.
Oh, like passed, like a wom passed into a cat.
That's right.
Woman. I get it.
You get it. So
Yeah, linguistics.
Man.
Yeah,
Thank you. It
extra
was a
thing.
stretch, but I
Smart.
got there.
syntax is his expertise. I mean, he is on it.
Yeah.
So that's one of the believed origins here. So it is thought that the Wampus cat originated from First Nation folklore. So we're talking like Floridians, but like OG Floridians, like, thousands of years ago. The cat would wail and whine near Spanish campsites in order to prevent outsiders from trespassing on native land.
Oh, yeah, that would keep me off.
Oh, yeah, a method of defense. Like if someone's crying near my bed,
Oh, please.
Oh,
Get away.
get away.
Yeah.
Get out of here. So some historic accounts also lend weight to the existence of the Wampus cat. The Tampa Tribune reported December 17th, 1918, that a Wampus is reportedly roaming the countryside in Miami. That was a real headline, according to the Tampa Tribune.
Okay.
The newspaper went on to say that sightings and rumors of the Wampus cat have persisted for generations, further fueling the intrigue and tall tales surrounding this beast.
Wow.
Okay, so that's the Wampus cat. We're not gonna guess just yet.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
But feel it in your spirit. Let it roll around in your mouth a little bit, like you're tasting a fine wine, like the Sun wine here.
Ah.
You would smell it. You would spit it into a jar.
Yeah.
Same thing here with
And
the
we're
Wampus
big
cat.
on the Tribune. It's probably our favorite Tribune.
Tampa.
Tampa's
What's
Tribune.
not to love?
Yeah, so we
Yeah.
met with them recently, and they were kind to us. And we don't believe in traditional media, so we shut them down fast.
Yeah.
But they're nice people.
Yeah, like
and they're
shows
trying their
like
best.
zines, but not
Yeah,
newspapers.
it's not-
We like zines
Yeah,
only.
yeah, zines only. The next one is called.
He loves that.
The next cryptid is called Hog Kong.
Pardon?
Not to be confused with Hong Kong,
Okay.
who we support sovereignty on this show.
Yeah.
Hong Kong. But Hog Kong has continued to terrorize
Okay.
northern Florida, decimating livestock populations and leaving massive trails from
Which
Jacksonville.
animal is this?
A hog.
Oh, it's
But
Hog
it's
Kong.
so
Hog.
big. Hog,
yeah.
Hog
Oh, I thought I
Kong.
heard Hawk Kong.
I mean, that's your personal opinion. if you saw
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Who
Can it
knows,
fly?
man? It's a cryptid. It doesn't. Who knows?
Hog Kong.
Hong Kong.
Okay.
It's left trails from Jacksonville to the outskirts of Leesburg. In 2005, a 1,200-pound wild hog was spotted and killed near Leesburg, Florida, and the meat was donated to various homeless shelters around the area, stocking their supplies for months.
But is this? They believe this was Hog
This
Kong?
was not Hog Kong. So that's the discrepancy here is when folks are hearing about this decimation of livestock and then they kill a 1,200-pound
Isn't that
wild
like
hog.
a van?
Yeah, they're like, oh, we got him.
How much is that? What's a cow weigh?
500.
Oh,
Easy
I
500.
was way too fast. I
Yeah.
don't believe you. I was way too
You
fast.
know me and how much meat weighs.
Yeah.
I've been measuring and weighing meat for
Big
decades,
sausage
baby.
boy.
Yeah. But when you kill, or I would just say, I'll call it like this: when you murder a 1,200-pound wild hog,
They call it harvesting.
right? You would assume we got the beast, right? We got the monster. They did not. The decimation of livestock continued after this 1,200-pound.
Maybe it's a copycat killer.
That's what we thought,
Yeah.
but bigger, stronger, and uncut.
Yeah.
And so local farmers, they celebrate believing Hog Kong has been finally killed. However, a few weeks later, the livestock attacks continue. The destruction has been so bad that the county has allotted funding to help farmers recover from the decimation, and the sheriff departments have assigned officers to known hog trails with orders to shoot Hog Kong on site. Okay.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah. Wow. Hey, man.
Florida native folklore claim that our First Nation peoples hunted giant hogs to extinction, but it's believed that some of these are just survivors of that, right? So these giant hogs that are terrorizing North Florida are believed to be from ancient Florida culture. They survived the First Nation peoples, and now they're just in Jacksonville just tearing it up like my Uncle Ronnie.
God, yeah. He hates Jacksonville.
Yeah, my uncle. I have 3 uncles, and they all live together.
get together?
and they they go hog wild.
They go,
Hog
and they
Kong.
watch Wild Hogs.
Yeah, they
with
do.
John
So,
Travolta.
And Tim
Classic.
Allen.
That's a
Classic.
classic.
Yeah.
Which Tim Allen watches our show. We don't condone his behavior, but bless you, Tim. Yeah, there you go.
That was him calling.
That was
in.
him, yes.
Yeah.
Uh,
Wait, so that they can't find this thing? I
it's
mean, if it goes
still-
through the woods, this is a tunnel.
I think this is the meat that Mission Barbecue uses.
It is very similar.
Yeah.
At noon every day,
Every
baby.
Yeah. Hog.
No, so if this is real, Hog Kong's still on the loose.
That's scary.
And we'll leave a disclaimer at the end. Hey, there's one that's a fakie, 2 that are real. Keep your eye peeled. If you see something, say something.
He didn't mean to rhyme that. It just happened
I just speak as an
organically.
artist. I speak in rhymes.
Yeah.
It's the spirit. The last one here is the Boynton Beach Booty Muncher.
Okay, I think I know where my
I feel like you've made this so easy.
where my vote's going. Okay.
Listen, I don't make this up. Also known as the BBBM.
Is this just like Freaknik or just like a big a guy that's just into butt eating?
This is why we didn't do ones from Cocoa Beach, because this actually
Butt
sounds
eater.
like
Sounds
Yeah.
exactly like
It is rampant in Florida. But again, we don't shame. It's believed to be a rogue manatee that terrorizes the coast
Okay.
That makes it so much better.
of southern Florida.
Booty muncher and manatee. I didn't think
I
were
just
going
like
to
the
be.
idea of a rogue manatee. They're already in the ocean. They're already
Well,
kind of
they're
doing their
rogue.
own thing.
So before we move
Yeah.
forward, I just want to say that when this cryptid was discovered,
Yeah.
and it began terrorizing,
What's terrorizing?
well, I'll get there. A news organization put out a poll as to what to name this creature. So it's
So they got reports and they're like, we got to think of a name.
they multiple choice on their website. It's
okay.
believed that it was then firebombed online because someone submitted like a funny one.
Oh, like
The
Bodie
Boynton-
McBoatface when that
Yes.
thing was popular?
Yes, so the Boynton Beach
Okay.
Booty Muncher is believed to be a gag name that got voted into existence. So some of the other
Okay.
some of the other
Legitimacy
choices here
happens.
were on the poll. The Vacuum of Doom was one of the
Ooh,
choices.
that's a good
What's
one.
it?
Uh,
Why?
I need to know what this
Kirby Suckett was one of them.
Wait, is that a baseball reference?
David Hasselhoff's, plural for some reason. And then the last one was NWO Team X-Pac, aka Suck It.
Okay.
And so,
yeah.
what ended up winning was the Boynton Beach Booty Muncher. And so
The
according,
alliteration, really.
yeah, it really is. So
I really like Kirby Suckett.
Oh, that
I
one's
know.
so good.
I would
like-
have voted if I had known.
Is that
Yeah.
Kirby Puckett? joke?
Right.
Okay.
100%. So according to the Boca Raton Tribune, the booty muncher has been spotted by locals and tourists alike floating beneath unsuspecting swimmers and gumming their backsides. So,
Oh, this is them floating. They're floating.
They're
face,
floating
okay.
face up, and
Wow.
manatees are herbivores. So they
Apparently.
wouldn't necessarily bite with their teeth. They would see the cheeks and go like
Gotta go for that organic matter.
right, just like
Yeah.
a
Just kind of sounds like a public service.
hello.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
To me, it's a good morning.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yes. Professor Christian Diane at the Palm Beach Atlantic University states that manatees have unimaginable sucking power, which would explain some of the local testimonies.
So all manatees can suck one.
That's what she says here, and I'm not a professor.
but this rogue one,
is a good sucker, a better sucker.
this is too far.
So boat owners of Boynton Beach have reported that the paint from the bottom of their boats have been, and this is a quote.
Okay.
This is a quote. The paint's been sucked to the point that both rust and paint are gone.
Oh wow, the protective coating.
Incredible.
What's happening?
At least it's getting rid of the rust. I mean,
That's
that's
what I
great.
Yeah.
It's a public service at this point, right?
Yeah. Because aren't there like barnacles and stuff that get on your
Right.
boat?
And it ruined your boat. As a big
Oh,
boating guy.
algae.
Yes.
Maybe it's sucking the algae.
That's what
out.
I'm saying.
This makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
There's a downside to this report, though.
I think, yeah.
The downside
There's
to
only
these
one of 'em.
reports is, well, perverts from across the nation have been showing up in an attempt to discover what the hype surrounding the Boynton Beach Booty Muncher is all about.
How do we know? This group of perverts?
Well,
A rogue group of perverts made themselves known?
They're just
Yeah.
kind of going around.
They're like, we're here.
we're here.
Whoops. Is that lettuce?
We're trying to find that manatee.
Yeah.
No, so this is the true quote, though. Local Sheriff Walter Riggs was quoted by Bay News 9 recently saying, "This is exactly what happens when you take God out of public schools."
Which part? A rogue manatee shows up?
I
when God
guess.
gets
I
in?
don't know, dude. Like, I don't question theology. I just know that, like, if I'm in a nice salt water or a nice freshwater lagoon,
Yep.
and something, reaches up with a strong jaw onto my cheek matter,
Do you think they're going jaw? I thought it was all lip.
I don't
and
see. That's the
snout.
thing is, I don't know.
Yeah, it feels like soft texture.
like a little.
Yeah.
But I would get out and never get back in until the night came. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, just yeah.
As the
yeah.
night falls.
The night veil.
Yeah, as the night falls. Citizens have been encouraged to not swim at night and to report any sightings or suckings
Does this thing not sleep?
to local authorities. I don't think so.
It's just
When you have that much sucking to do,
Yeah.
that's a 24-hour job.
24/7.
more people on the water. We
Yeah,
gotta go
gotta get
suck
back.
'em.
I'm exhausted.
I am sick of this sucking. I'm
Yeah,
getting
I'm
tired.
sick of it. So we have three choices here.
huh.
We have the Wampus Cat.
Okay.
6 legs, stinks like a skunk. Hog Kong. Just a giant hog terrorizing North Florida.
Bigger than 1,200 pounds.
Bigger. Keep in mind, a cow's 500. And then the Boynton Beach Booty Muncher is believed to be a manatee that sucks the paint off of a boat. So I'm gonna let our guest decide. Maybe we can deliberate here.
Yeah.
Which ones do we know for sure? Starting, which one do you know is real? Like, which one is like, man, this one's real. It has to be real.
I feel like the Wampus Cat.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Wampus Cat too.
The Wampus Cat feels
Yeah.
the
It
realest.
just
I think
feels
I've
so
heard
real.
of
I
that
mean,
before.
okay.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Florida kind of sometimes on like a Wednesday smells just like wet
Oh,
and just
right.
like farts.
Yes.
Womp
And so
bats.
I
Yes.
think it's
Like
Swamp-
swamp
yes,
bat.
swamp bat.
Boom, 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 boom.
I think
Told
that's
you
why
guys.
we have that kind of scent here. They want to make it seem like it's the sulfur.
Okay.
Ah.
It's
It's
monsters.
The
It's
Wampus.
the Wampus.
Can I just say, you're right, 100%. The
Wow.
Wampus Cat is
Thank
an
you.
actual Native American folklore. And what's interesting about it, though, is a lot of folks who claim to have seen it, they believe they have possibly accidentally spotted an actual extinct black panther, a version of the Florida panther that's been extinct for supposedly millions of years. They think the way they describe it is describing this old extinct cat. So it's really cool that
Okay.
people could have been seeing a creature that just they thought to be
That is cool.
extinct.
That's pretty sick.
So then it's down. It's a tie then. So it's down between Hong Kong and the Boynton Beach Booty Muncher.
I know which one I want to be.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
which
real.
one. Which one do you want to be real, Josh?
I know that if one's real, I need to take a trip.
Well, and see, here's where I think it. Here's where I think he's trying to trick us.
Okay. Oh.
Because Hog Kong
Right.
sounds too believable.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Like it's softened.
And I don't know if you've spent
Yeah.
time because you said one of the areas is Leesburg.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
nothing leaves Leesburg.
Oh,
you,
yeah.
You die
You
in
go there, you
Leesburg.
die.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
village
Yeah.
is
And,
baby.
and I think if Hog Kong was going around there, he's getting sliced and diced. And,
Well, you
and
know the
being-
phrase from there is we're Leesburg, not Leavesburg.
Didn't know that, but
The mayor says that all the time.
Makes sense.
and there's a
Yeah.
Hungry Howie's there,
Right.
and I think that's where they get their pepperoni from. So
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Now,
Okay,
so
like it's
so
just getting-
so you're saying that Hog Kong is make believe, and that they didn't kill a giant boar and fill the shelves of a homeless
Well,
shelter.
I believe that the pre-story, yes, is believable.
That one
Okay.
We're
might have
saying
been
the cryptid.
it might have been the size of a Honda Civic, but not as big as you're saying.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
might have confused.
so
the two.
hypothetically, if Hog Kong is made up,
Okay.
then the Boynton Beach Booty Muncher is real.
Well,
because I want it to
Yeah.
so bad.
and I think the sheriff is saying like these kids were so naughty.
Right.
They made this fake name, and that's the whole God relation.
I see
Not
what
like-
you're
Not like
saying.
the monster was created
by
because
God
didn't exist.
for sin.
Yeah, he's like, we could have had a clean name for the booty muncher, but because
Oh.
God's not in schools, the high school kids got on the internet and voted booty muncher. God, I love like they do.
It's so good, man.
It's all connected.
All right. Well,
And like he said, Hog Kong's too soft.
do you want
it's
the
just
moment
like-
of truth?
Please.
Which one do you want to hear? Do you want to hear the one that's made up? The one that is completely, entirely make believe, from my imagination to yours,
Not-
is the Boynton Beach Booty Muncher.
Oh.
Unfortunately,
well, this
I
This is
know.
not
the life I want to
Well,
live.
that's just a shame.
But isn't it terrifying though that there's actual police reports of a giant hog destroying Leesburg and all the way to Jacksonville, and the sheriff is like funding protection for farmers
Okay,
and going
that's
like.
kind of cool.
That is
It is
insane.
very
Like
cool.
we have like if you see a hog trail, like let us know, we'll send an officer out.
Well, it's not going to be a hog trail. It's like
It's a Hog Kong.
A train went through.
I was
Right?
gonna say like
Yeah.
a bus, just like
Yeah.
took out.
I love the idea that they kill a 1,200-pound hog and they go, we did it. We celebrate. We feed the
Yeah.
homeless for months.
Wow.
And then a bigger one comes through and they go, man, we messed up bad.
Yeah.
Hey,
messed
more
up
food,
bad.
more food for the future, though. That's what I think.
100%.
You know?
Yeah.
You know,
God
it could be just
provides.
chilling in the villages.
I
You know, they
know,
keep
I
that
think
place
so.
surrounded, and that's
Oh,
why they
wow.
have
That's
the
why they can't
loofahs. They
leave.
want to make it seem like it's because they're swingers.
Right.
It's not. It's because
Yeah.
if you have it outside your car,
It'll pass you
it'll
over.
pass you by.
Come
Oh,
on. Put a little
wow.
blood on
It's
your
like
door.
the-
That's
yeah.
the,
It's
that's
like
Passover.
Shyamalan.
That's Passover,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
where you have
Hog Kong.
yeah.
Well, I will say this. And the reason why I thought that story was false is because that was actually Josh's nickname in high school.
Hog Kong. Yeah. Yeah. It's not for the reasons you think. It's the opposite.
Because he's vegetarian.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
so-
yeah, that makes
Yeah.
so much
It
sense.
is. Episode 245 has just
Wow.
been a lot of fun for us. A lot of first, man, here tonight. But can we just roll the red carpet out for you too? We want to honor you. How can folks find you on social media? Like, where do they go looking to find you?
It'll be Oak and Iron Photo on pretty much everything. Instagram.
.coms.
Yeah.
Website.
oakandironphoto.com.
Oh, nice.
TikTok, you can find me at Pastrami on Rye.
Come on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, a little
It's a
divergent.
little fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Well,
tried
get
to
it.
get Cat's Deli to sponsor me, and
Okay.
they didn't
Wow.
follow through. They
Yeah.
weren't
Still
about
waiting.
it.
Yeah.
Still waiting.
Yeah. No, that's so sick. So and just could you spell it for us to make sure is it in Oak and Iron?
It's just
Oak.
Oak.
and
oak
iron.
like a tree
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
A&D.
iron.
Iron.
Photo.
This guy, he loves a good little spelling bee at the end of the show.
Well,
My
I-
dyslexia kicked in.
I
I know what you're
know.
talking about.
I just want to
Thank
make
you.
sure that folks can find you. And
appreciate that.
one thing we did early on in our career, anytime we said like a funny URL
Mhm.
that wasn't real, we would go out and buy it and
Yeah.
just have it redirect to our
Yeah,
website.
trash tramps.
We
Yeah.
do that. We do that all the time. They're really
It's
cheap.
so fun.
You can
Yeah.
get it for like a,
It's fun.
and some of them
Yeah.
are like a couple cents for like incredible things.
Yeah, so good. But listen, to our listeners, we love you. We appreciate you.
And if you're a Patreon, you're going to get some hair. We'll send you some.
A piece, like
Okay.
a tiny bit, because this is for me.
We're going to be in 18 Florida Man articles of our DNA being on 80 by murdered
Crimes. Yeah.
Yeah, but speaking of Patreon, if you want to see us and help us go further faster, it's patreon.com/FMOFM podcast.
Or just buy an ad
Yeah, buy an ad on
for
the show.
your local business.
Yeah, for your
Buy
Mall
it.
Mall, for your
your Hungry Howies.
Hungry Howies,
Yeah.
for your perversions.
Yeah.
We love you so much. God bless you. We'll see you next time. Yeah.
See,
Bye.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
man.
I'm really sad about the booty muncher, though.
I
know, I want it
I
to be
walked
real
back to the
sober.
office today and I go, I need a name for this mythical,
Yeah.
creature or whatever. And I don't know what we had discussed originally.
It wasn't that.
But I was like, I said the African booty scratcher because when I was in third, when I was in third grade, someone called me an African booty scratcher.
I don't even
and
know if
I
that's
was
offensive or
I
not.
was furious. I was furious. And then what's funny is they called me a virgin. And I went back to my teacher and I go, no, he's calling me a virgin. And she goes, well, you know, that's not a bad thing, right? And I go, and my mind read that as, it's a word I can say that's not offensive. So for like a month, I was like, you virgin, to like everybody. That was like my go-to thing.
That's amazing.
But yeah, hey, live stream, thanks for hanging out tonight. We'll see you next week. Make sure to check these guys out. Yeah, love you. Dude, so good.
Yeah.